Hey guys, Jacob Scott, Lowrance product expert. Today we're out here on the water and we're going to talk to you a little bit about waypoints, what they are, and a little bit about waypoint management. So if you like this video, don't forget to click on the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the Lowrance YouTube channel so you can get more of our weekly update videos. Some of you may ask, what is a waypoint if you're new to this? And essentially, a waypoint is just a spot that's set by GPS coordinates that you want to be able to return to time and time again. It can be anything from a brush pile underwater. A lot of times I use waypoints for spots where I find fish. Another thing I use waypoints for is if there's like a submerged rock or submerged timber or something like that under the water that I can't always see when I'm out here, I'll put a GPS waypoint on that. That way I know where to find it and I don't run over it. Okay guys, as we're looking at this charting screen here, as you can see, I've got trails running up and down this river because I'm here quite a bit. It's a feeder river between two lakes and we do a lot of stuff in here. But the one thing about it is it's always got brush piles and rocks and stuff like that. So there's several ways you can create a waypoint. So you can touch the screen and you see your crosshairs pop up. If you want to create a waypoint right there, all you have to do is up here in the upper right corner, you press the waypoint flag. You can see this is going to be waypoint number 37. You got this little round symbol, or I can hit this drop down menu and I can select any other symbol that I want to use. A lot of times if I'm marking rocks or trees or something like that that's a danger underwater, I'll either use the stop sign, or the other one I use a lot is the skull and crossbones because we want to be safe. So now that I've got that waypoint right there, I know that spot's got something I need to look out for. It could be a rock, could be a submerged log or something like that. I can also put that information in there if I want to. So another way you can create a waypoint is, let's zoom in a little bit. You can see where we are. If you want to, you can hit the flag button right there and it will create the waypoint right there where you are at the boat's location. So those are a couple different ways that you can create waypoints. So the great thing about the HDS Live units is with these quick access keys, I have even more ways to create waypoints. So I give that top one a quick push. As you can see, I've got it set to create a waypoint there. What I did is I already had that programmed in here. So I'm going to press my Pages button and we're going to go to Settings, and then we're going to go to Quick Access Keys. As you can see, I have a couple of different waypoints programmed in here already. So on button 3, I don't have anything programmed in there. So I'm going to hit my drop down menu and I'm going to select this waypoint right here. So now as you can see, it's got just the generic round icon. I can hit the drop down menu and it gives me several different icons that I can use here. So another one that I like to use a lot is this fish symbol. And I'll use this in a spot where I'm seeing fish or catching fish or something like that. So now that it's on the quick press on button 3, we hit save. So now if we're out here and we're on a spot where I'm catching fish or I'm seeing a lot of fish and I want to just make a note of it because it's got good structure there and it's holding fish, I just hit that, and as you can see, as we drift past, this waypoint symbol of the little fishies shows up on the screen. So if I'm driving along here and I see that waypoint symbol, that tells me this is a spot that I want to fish, or that I've seen a lot of fish, or that I've caught fish in before. So if I'm looking for a specific type of fish, I can use a specific waypoint, or I can even give them names. So like I could call it bedding area 1 or bedding area 2 if I'm finding a lot of bedded fish or something like that. So there's all kinds of ways that you can name these waypoints, give them a little bit of information and that sort of stuff. So when you're driving up to them on the chart screen, you know what they are. So a lot of times you may be out here and you're thinking, I know I've got a waypoint on an area, and you want to find that waypoint ahead of time or something like that so that you can just kind of give it a quick look at. So you press your Pages button, and if you go to the little waypoints flag over here on the right hand side of the screen. So as you can see, all of these waypoints that I've created are listed, and they all have different symbols for symbols that I use. And then the other thing that's kind of really cool is they show you how far away you are from them right now. So I know right now if I wanted to go to waypoint 11, I'm 50.6 miles from it. And it's a really good guess that it's not on this body of water. So if I wanted to see where it's at, I can touch it and I can say show, and it goes right on the map to where that waypoint is at. And if I zoom out, I can look at this waypoint and I can go, oh, that's on Lake Skytook, and I'm not on Lake Skytook right now. So I know specifically that's a waypoint I do not want to go to at the moment. So again, you hit your Pages button, go to your waypoints. You can scroll through here. Now let's scroll down to the bottom. You can see that some of these waypoints we just made, look at this, we're 338 feet from that waypoint. So I know that it's probably pretty close in a waypoint in the area that I'm going to be fishing, or the area that I'm going to be in. So I know where I've got these fish symbols are close to where I'm going to be fishing. So that's a good area for me to fish. The other thing we have is we have our routes. If I had any routes in an area, some of the areas that you go to, you may want to create a route because it's got a specific area that you want to drive through, maybe because it's got a deep channel and on each side of it is really shallow, and you may have flooded timber or rocks and stuff like that. So they've got a channel that you want to drive through. So if you carefully drive through that channel and create a route through it, that makes it easy for you to go back and follow that route through that same channel. And then finally, if we look at trails, a lot of you have noticed that I've got Trail 1 on here and I've got 12,134 points on it. And if you look at my screen, this black line that keeps following me, that's my current trail that I'm dropping pinpoints on, for lack of a better word. We call them pinpoints or pin drops. Basically, it's just little reminders that this is where this trail is going, so that it gives me something to follow. Now, one of the cool things is you could take this trail, if you start a new trail when you're driving through an area, again, like we said, that have very specific boat lanes that you want to drive through or deep channels that you want to stay in when you're driving, you can start a new trail, you can drive through that area, and then you can convert that trail to a route. So if you wanted to start a new trail, you hit the waypoints key, we go to trails. Now, as you can see here, it says display and record. So if I don't want to add any more pinpoints to this trail, I turn it off. And if I leave display on, it's still going to show on the screen. Now, if I want to start a new trail, all I do is come down here and I hit new, and it tells me it's going to be trail number 2. We're going to turn on the display and on the record. So the other thing I can do is I can go in here and I can make it whatever color I want, and I can add a description. So I could call this a running lane. Again, this is something I would use on a lake, again, that's got flooded timber and rocks and a lot of hazards, and you just have a specific area you want to stay in. So, okay, so I've told it it's a running lane. I can even change the name up here to running lane, and then we could call this river, because I know this is the running lane I want to use on the river. Now I hit save. Now if I go back to my screen, you can see here we've got the black trail that we recorded previously. I'm going to hit the clear cursor, and as we go to the boat, I'm going to go ahead and put some throttle in here. And you can see as we move around, this new trail that I started is showing up in that red color, just like I was talking about. So I know this is a different trail that I've created for a specific reason. Now, some guys, when they go out and fish, and if they're tournament fishing or something like that, each day they go out and practice, they create a different trail in a different color. That allows them to know where they were on what specific day. So now that I've called this one a running lane, again, we're just making it really quick and short here. We're going to go back to my waypoints and we're going to look at the trails. I'm going to go ahead and turn the record off on this one, so I'm not recording anything anymore. And now I can hit create route. And what this does is this allows me to create that route. So I know it's the running lane river. This route is on, it's got the route points on it. I hit save. So now if we look at routes, you can see running lane is right there, and I can tell it to show it to me, and it shows me that's that little short section where we created it. So now I've got that running lane created as a route so that it's not going to change, and every time I come back to it, it's always going to be right there on my screen. Now that I've shown you how to mark a waypoint on your map charting screen, I'm going to show you how to mark a waypoint on a sonar screen. So as you can see this screen, I've got 2D sonar and side scan and down scan. I've got all of that pulled up. So where we're marking these fish, I'm going to just use this. If this were a rock pile or some structure that I was wanting to fish that I see on my screen, I'm going to put my cursor on there and I'm going to hit my waypoint flag key. And then I'm also going to change my symbol to whatever I want to use. We're just going to use the generic round one right now. So I'm going to hit save. So now this waypoint shows up on that exact spot. What's really awesome about using side scan is right now we're looking at 150 feet to each side of this boat. So if I see like a rock pile or a lay down or something that I want to fish over on the side, the cool thing about this is if it were right here, I could touch the screen right here and I can put a waypoint right there on that spot. So I would just hit my waypoint key, number 45. So it shows up on the screen right here. I clear my cursor. So now if we look at the charting screen, you can see we're over here, but that waypoint I just created, number 45, look how far it is from the boat over here. So if I put my waypoint on it, it tells me that it's 210 feet away from the boat. So that's another really cool thing you can do with your waypoints. When you put the crosshairs on them and your boat's not on them, it tells you exactly how far away from the boat it is. Now the last little bit, we're going to talk about managing your waypoints. So I'm going to go ahead and go back here to my waypoints section. We can see that there's different symbols and stuff in here. And if I know there's a bunch of symbols that I don't want to use anymore, I can go through and I can select a waypoint and I can delete them one by one. Or another thing you can do is you can select a waypoint. I selected that symbol and you can delete by symbol. So if you go to delete by symbol, so let's say that little tree symbol that I just had, let me find it on my screen here, right there. So I can tell it I want to delete all waypoints with that one symbol. So I say delete, and it went through and it sorted, and now it's deleted those waypoints. After you delete a waypoint, they go to a folder, and I'm going to show you that right now. You hit your Pages button, go to Storage. Now up here at the top where it says Waypoints, you can see it shows that I have 43 waypoints in my unit, and I have 63 deleted waypoints. I have one route, 0 deleted, I have 2 trails, and I have 0 deleted. So the reason we do this, that we store these waypoints, is if I've got multiple units on the boat and one of these units is turned off when I delete the waypoints, they're still going to be on that unit when I turn it back on. Without this little deleted folder, the unit, when I turn it back on, is going to look at this other unit and go, oh, you don't have these waypoints, and it gives it back to that unit. So with the deleted folder, it goes in there and it says, oh, you've deleted these. So I'm going to delete them from myself also. So once you go in and you've deleted waypoints, it's always good with every unit on your boat on to go over and select Purge. So what you do is when you purge, it totally removes those waypoints out of your system. So we're going to say yes to that. So now it says I have 0 deleted waypoints. It's good to go through and clean out your purge folder every once in a while, because otherwise what happens is you just get a buildup of stuff that you deleted, and while it's sitting there, it's still taking up memory on your unit. So going through every once in a while and emptying your purge folder frees up a little bit of space on your unit. Okay guys, that's a little bit about waypoints and managing them. You know, they're a really critical tool for being able to navigate and find your spots that you want to be at, or find spots that you don't want to be at, such as a submerged log or a rock pile that comes way up from the bottom. So anyhow, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to go to the Lowrance YouTube channel, subscribe, that way you can get weekly updates and more informational videos like this.